Hi booktube, this is Kelly. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. I was recently tagged, along with so many other people, but I was recently tagged in the Tag de France, and I was tagged by Gavin at Genre Books. This is an original tag, and I left a comment. I was like, Did you know France is kind of a positive trigger, I guess, if you will, for me? I even brought my little cheesy touristy Eiffel Tower for this video. So we'll put that up like there. It can be in the background. But yeah, so as soon as I saw this, I knew I had to do this tag. But it really relates more to the Tour de France, which is a bicycle race through not just France, but other parts of Europe. I think this year it started in Florence. And I grew up actually watching the Tour de France with my dad. My dad was an avid cyclist. He doesn't watch the Tour de France anymore because I think it makes him feel bad, but which is too bad. I can't play tennis anymore, but I'm still gonna watch Wimbledon. Gavin's tag is fantastic. He knows so much about the Tour de France. So for some of these prompts, I'm not gonna be able to give you like the best reason for the prompt. I would definitely encourage you to check out the original version of this tag and Gavin's channel as well. So question number 1, Le Grand Depart. So again, Gavin talks about how the Tour de France doesn't start in France. So a memorable preface, introduction, or opening line. And keeping with the France theme, I grabbed A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. Of course, opening line is, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." So, question 2, Maillot Vert, which is the green jersey. I think the green jersey relates to maybe sprinting. Not entirely sure, but anyway, a book under 150 pages. And for this, I grabbed The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. I read this a long time ago. I need to reread this. It is a series of vignettes that take place in the Latino community in Chicago. And I read it because I was about to move to Chicago and live in a Latino neighborhood. So, but it's just a really wonderful book. Shorty September is coming up. This would be a great read for that. So, but if you haven't read this, I highly recommend The House on Mango Street. Question number 3, King of the Mountains. There's something to do with a polka dotted jersey related to this. I'm not exactly sure, but there's a whole series of mountains that the cyclists have to go over during the Tour de France. A book that you persevered with and are glad you did. I don't like to think of myself as like, oh, I persevered through this book. So I just grabbed a book that was, a little more challenging for me. But I was never going to DNF it. And that is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This edition, great story behind this book, the copy of this book. I went to Barnes & Noble to buy a present for Jason. This was when we were just friends, and I ran into Jason there, and I said, "Well, I'm here to buy a present for you." I was like, what do you want? Which ironically has been the story of our marriage, because I never know what to buy him, because in part I don't always know what he's bought himself. And yeah, so anyway, but I was like, what do you want? And he was like, oh, I really want this beautiful edition of Anna Karenina. Anyway, so the book follows us around on our marriage, and yeah, we've been married for 18 years now. Anyway, but he still has not read Anna Karenina, and I just kind of got irritated because we had to keep moving it with us, and I was like, I am gonna read it, and so I did. And I'm glad I did. Question 4, another Jersey name, Maillot Jaune, a book where yellow is predominant, because of course whoever wins the Tour de France, and I think each day, gets to wear the yellow jersey, which is just, I don't know, just iconic kind of, right? And I have been wanting to use this for a while. I actually saw a prompt on a different tag that someone used this, and I was so excited to see someone else on booktube talking about this tiny, tiny little, I don't know, maybe this is even just a short story within this collection. Yeah, it looks like it is. I should read the rest of the stories. But anyway, this is The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I think I read this, and I mean, it was this edition in college, and I thought The Yellow Wallpaper was absolutely brilliant. I really, really loved this story. It's fantastic. So anyway, so that's my yellow jersey book there. Okay, question 5, Lantern Rouge, a book you were late to. And I guess they used to have, like, maybe it's just only been figurative, but like if you come in last in the Tour de France, you were wearing the red jersey. I didn't grab the first book in the series because I've shown that a lot on my channel lately, but I had to grab Trollope because this is Framley Parsonage by Anthony Trollope, and Trollope is one of those authors that I am so grateful to BookTube for introducing me to and making me think like this is a writer I should read his books. And of course he wrote a little less than 50 books. My God. So I won't ever get to all of them. However, I just don't think I would have ever discovered Anthony Trollope on my own. So I'm so grateful that I finally got to Anthony Trollope, and I've read 6 books by him. I will definitely read more Trollope. I haven't checked because I'm afraid I'm going to realize that my local library doesn't own anything by Anthony Trollope, which is entirely possible. Okay. Question 6, or category. What's the hardest book you've read or failed to read? And I sat thinking about it for a really long time, and then I realized we own like 5 or 6 books by this author, but we don't own the book that I read. So I just grabbed this one. But the hardest book that I can think of that I've read is All the Names by Jose Saramago. Jose Saramago is a Portuguese author who won the Nobel Prize for Literature. And I read All the Names, and I was reading it for a book club, and you know what, like by the end it was just kind of like reading words on a page. It's a bit like another contender for this might be oh gosh, The Book of Disquiet. I can't remember the author's name. I'm sorry. I'll try to look it up and put it down below. But anyway, so yeah, The Book of Disquiet was just I had hope at the beginning of All the Names that I would be able to understand the story, but I was lost. Now, that was a long time ago, and I'm certainly a different reader now than I was then. So you know, maybe in the future I'll give it another try. If you guys have a good place to start with Jose Saramago that is not all the names, let me know. Because like I said, we own like 5 books by Saramago, and I can't believe it, but we don't have that one. Question 7, endurance. Your favorite series? I just don't really have a good answer for this, because either I haven't completed this series, or I mean, like, there's one of my goals this year was actually to try to read more in the series that I'm reading. And one series that I think only has 2 books left in it, but I can't get them from our library. And then like, there's another series that's 10 books long, and I'm like on book 6, so I'm probably not going to finish that. I am reading a middle grade series right now, Chronicles of Prydian by Lloyd Alexander. I do hope I will. I've read that series before, and I just want to make sure that I still love it as much as I remember loving it when I read it. You know, I have Harry Potter. I have I've started. I've read the first 4 books in Robert Galbraith's Cormoran Strike series, but again, like, I'm behind, and those are big books. So, or at least the most recent ones in that series are. So I'm kind of in the middle of a lot of series. I'm gonna make up for it with the next one. We're gonna have bonus books, okay? So, question 8, Champs-Élysées. Your favorite Paris novel? Oh my goodness. Okay, so you obviously know, like, the best Paris book of all is Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. I mean, talk about a book that covers Paris. We even get down into the sewers and how the sewers were built. I love this book so much. I'm sorry that you guys have to hear me talk about it so much, but I can't help it. I just absolutely, yeah, it may be my favorite book of all time. So anyway, so that is, but I've read lots of books about Paris and about France. I love Paris and I love France. I spent a summer there in Lyon and ended it with 2 weeks in Paris, and then later on I was fortunate enough to get back to Paris for I think 2 weeks, maybe we were there 10 days, something like that. So yeah, I've read a lot of France and Paris related books. So the first other bonus book I would recommend is My Life in France by Julia Child. And I hate this sticker because it has to do with Julie and Julia, the film. Anyway, but My Life in France is, it's not just about cooking. And it's written so well. I mean, there were parts of it that made me laugh so hard. I was crying. It's just a wonderful, wonderful book. And a lot of it focuses on Julia Child's marriage, and I really do believe that she and her husband loved each other so much. They were so supportive of each other. And yeah, so this is just, I mean, this is a 5-star book, definitely, for sure. Another book that I've shown on this channel, but it's been a while, and I am literally holding on to this book for these 2 sticky notes because they are 2 of the funniest things I have read in a long while. And this is Monsieur Mediocre. One American learns the high art of being everyday French. So the author, you know, ends up living in Paris. I think his wife is French. It's been a long time since I've read this, but it's a funny book about Americans in Paris, and the faux pas that we make, and adjusting to French culture and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so those are my bonus books to make up for it. Question 9, Lance Armstrong. Have you ever cheated to get to the finish quicker with a book? So I would say one of my crutches with reading is that I tend to constantly look to see how many pages are in the book and figure out how many pages I have left, and then how many pages I would need to read in a day in order to finish it by some imaginary deadline, you know, those kinds of things. But nonetheless, I've never like read the ending first. I've never skipped over pages. I don't do that. You know me, I follow the rules, that kind of thing. But I do feel like a certain momentum or like a certain urgency the closer I get to finishing the end of a book. So, but I haven't cheated. Okay. And then number 10, L'Equipe, which is the team. So tag some others from the booktube team. And I am going to tag Ritual of Reading. She doesn't normally do tags, but she does live in Paris. So maybe she's got some great Tour de France stories that she can share. But anyway, so I'm just going to throw that out there. She has an absolutely amazing channel, you guys. If she does not make videos very often, but her Christmas videos, man, the best. Amazing videos. So I also want to tag Michael Romeo Talks Books. I'm going to tag Lindsay Reeds, Sue Jackson, and another at least French-speaking booktuber, Bouquins and Books. So because Gavin tagged like almost my entire world of booktube. So anyway, I would love to hear your answers to these questions. If you love the Tour de France, I'd love to hear about that as well, down in the comment section. As always, if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, you can leave an emoji or give this video a thumbs up, which does help my channel, and I am very, very grateful for that. Booktube, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.